Hi, this is today I'm going to be giving myself my 5th shot on Mounjaro, and I want to share with you 2 big mistakes that I made last week, right after I did my live with you. I did if this is your first time checking out my channel and checking out what I have to share about being on Mounjaro. Oops. About being on Mounjaro. Last week, I also did a live and I shared the things that I learned during my first 3 weeks. And then after I did that live, I was going to do my 4th shot. Well, I'm also taking a class that my health insurance pays for called Rally Coach. And on Mondays, I get to watch a webinar about healthy lifestyle choices, proper ways to eat, to lose weight, and to lose weight in a healthy manner. So I was listening to the webinar, and I thought, I really want to give my shot now, because you'll notice when you start taking Mounjaro that the first 5 days, I have no food noise. I am just absolutely not hungry. I have to think about eating, which is really weird for me because I'm half Italian and I love eating. But then on day 6, I start to feel a little bit hungry again. And I definitely do on day 7. So I was feeling a little hungry and thought, I'm going to take my shot now while I'm listening to this webinar. I know how to do it. I'm just going to, whip it out real quick and take it in my tummy. Well, I wasn't 100% paying attention to what I was doing. And I made a very expensive, stupid mistake that I hope none of you will ever make. Even if you've been taking Mounjaro for a few weeks and you're really good at it, you have to pay close attention to what you're doing. Because if you make this one mistake, you will have ruined that shot. And here's the mistake I made. The first thing I did was correct. I opened up, I like to get these little alcohol wipes. But if you have clean skin, soap and water or whatever, you should always inject yourself on clean skin. I can't get it out. Oh, this one is attached to the bottom. Okay. I got it out. So you have to clean your area. Today, I'm going to do my legs. So I'm sorry you won't be able to see my thigh as I do it, but I am going to do it. So I cleaned the area while I was listening to the webinar. And then I picked up my pen and I turned my pen from lock to unlock. That is not the next step. That is not the next step. Before you do that, let's see, I'll show you the unlock, and you just have to twist it, or it's on lock and you twist it to unlock. Don't twist that until you have taken off the bottom gray cap. I forgot to take off the bottom gray cap. So here I washed I did the stomach last week. I washed my stomach and I put this against my stomach, but with the gray cap still on. I forgot to take it off. And then when I turned it from lock to unlock, guess what? You only get to do that once. Once you take it from locked to unlocked, it never can go back. But I did that. I moved it from lock to unlock. But now my gray thing's off. And I'm going to put it on I'm putting it on my clean thigh right now. And I'm pushing the plunger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there. It went pretty fast. Already heard the second double clicks. so I can remove it. I've got a nice little red mark that shows that it went in, and so I'm going to wipe that off. Well, let me tell you, if you leave the gray cap in and you turn it, you can still, with the gray cap on, you can turn it to unlock. You can push the plunger down and nothing's going to happen. And so I did that, I had it against my stomach. I had it on unlock. I pushed it down and I was like, I don't feel anything. And I was listening and there was no clicks. And I'm like, what the hey? And I counted to like 30 and then I lifted it up and realized I still had the cap on. So I thought, well, I'll just put it close to me and I'll quickly pull the cap off and try to jab it in. The second I pulled the cap off, because once you push this down, it's done. It just started squirting the medicine out. And there was no way that I could even poke myself because once you push this down, it kind of goes, it does its little down thing, but then it bounces back up. And so, you can't even really poke yourself by putting your finger in here. So it was ruined. And then I noticed that when you have it on unlock, it won't let me turn it back to lock. Once it's on unlock, it is unlocked for life. So there is no way to fix this mistake. It's just done. And you didn't get to use this particular shot. And if you paid the $1,300 or $1,400 that it is for 4 pens in a month, that is a giant expensive mistake you don't want to make. And fortunately, I have good health insurance and I have type 2 diabetes. And so my health insurance is paying for it this year for most of it. It wasn't as expensive as a mistake as it could have been. But then I was one shot. I was missing the shot because it was empty. There was nothing I could do with it. Fortunately for me, I had already put in my to my pharmacy to pick up my next set of shots, because when you buy these, you get 4 shots at a time. It comes in a box of 4. Well, my doctor upped me to the 5 milligrams. So I had 3 weeks of the smallest dose of the 2.5. And if I wanted to take a shot, I was going to have to bump up to the 5. And so I made it to Costco 5 minutes before the pharmacy was closing. And I was able to get it. And I went home and I promised myself I would never, ever, ever, ever make that mistake again. And I injected myself with the 5 milligrams. Here's the second mistake I made. The 2.5 milligrams did not give me, the only side effect I had was number 1, I wasn't as hungry. Yay. Number 2, I wasn't thinking about food all the time. Wonderful. I also had a little bit of constipation, which I mentioned in last week's video, that I was able to stop having constipation by taking 2 fiber gummies for with my breakfast and 2 fiber gummies with my evening meal, as well as an Activia yogurt. And Activia yogurt has more probiotics in it than regular yogurt does. And so by taking 2 Activias, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, and 4 fiber gummies, which it's 10 grams of fiber each time. So it's 20 grams in a day, which is a lot of fiber, which is good, which helped with that. The constipation went away. And so I was feeling really good. Well, when you bump up to 5, that's double the amount of medicine. And I've heard from this wonderful Facebook group that I'm a part of. I don't control it. I don't run it. I'm just a regular member. It is called Mounjaro Zepbound Weight Loss Support. And I'm going to have a link in my description if anyone's interested in joining that group. It's free. It's fabulous. It's run by a nurse practitioner and it has a lot of great people in there that are very inspiring who've lost a lot of weight on either Mounjaro or on Zepbound. Well, anyway, where was I going with this? I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little nervous when I'm doing a live. I can't remember where I was. Oh, the second mistake. Whew. This one is huge, you guys. And I would like to be able to share it so no one else makes this same mistake because it's huge. I did not prepare for what it would be like to have extreme stomach upset. And I did have that. When you bump up to the next level to either 5 and then maybe to 7.5 or to 10, 12.5 or 15, each time you bump up, there's a possibility that your side effects are going to be stronger, or if you've never had side effects, you might all of a sudden get some side effects. Now, I wasn't prepared for it. And I think, what did I have? Oh, I know what I had, which was another mistake. Actually, I should say 3 big mistakes. I had shepherd's pie, and I absolutely love shepherd's pie. I had a very little breakfast. I had a very little lunch, and I knew I was going to be having shepherd's pie for dinner. Well, when dinner came around, I was pretty hungry. And so I had not just one serving, and it was so delicious. I didn't have just one serving. I had 2 servings of shepherd's pie. And I thought, well, that wouldn't be too bad because I really didn't eat very much for breakfast or for lunch. So it's okay to have that in calories. But it was too much food for my stomach. And I did not have anything in the house for stomach aches. Nothing, because I have not thrown up in years. I never get nausea, stomach aches. And so there was nothing in my house to help with it. And when I went to bed, I was like, oh, I don't feel that good. I'm so stuffed. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten so much. Well, I tossed and turned all night long. And then at about 4 in the morning, I couldn't hold it in anymore. And I threw up pretty hard. And then what's the hard part is if you have the nausea that will make you throw up, you have the other side effect in the combination with it, where you also are going to have diarrhea and vomiting as a combo, which I wasn't prepared for. I was able to make the flip quick enough that I was okay, but it was close. And after I was all done being sick, my husband woke up and he ran to the store, God bless his soul, and he gave me some things. And here are some things that I now have in the house that I highly recommend if you've not taken Mounjaro or Zepbound yet. It's the exact same medication. Mounjaro helps people with type 2 diabetes, helps with your blood sugar, as well as has this wonderful side effect that helps you lose weight. And Zepbound is for people who would like to lose a lot of weight, though they're not type 2 diabetic. It still is extremely helpful, and it's the exact same medicine, just with different names. Probably so your health insurance, if they're trying to help you with obesity, they might cover it, and then it'd be Zepbound, and type 2 diabetes would be the Mounjaro. Anyway, Gatorade made me feel so much better. Gatorade also, I didn't have any Gatorade in the house at the time, but if I had before when I knew I was going to throw up anyway, I would have had some Gatorade because it would have made it less unpleasant to be able to have something in your stomach that isn't so acidy and flavorless. I like the Frost Gatorade. It has no coloring, food coloring in it. It's very mild in flavor, and it also has electrolytes, which you need because you get dehydrated really fast if you're having both of those happening to you and both ends. You need to replenish those fluids when you can. I mean, you start off just tiny sips. And anyway, Gatorade is real important. Now, another thing that is super duper helpful, which I found out from that Facebook group, the Mounjaro Zepbound weight loss support, a lot of people said that they made Tums their best friend. So, Tums, oh my gosh, have some in your house just in case. Ladies who carry a purse, put some in your purse. I put some in a little Ziploc baggie because this bottle's pretty big. So just like in a little Ziploc baggie. So now I'll always have a little bit of Tums with me just in case if I get a stomach ache after I eat, I can quickly take some. When I went to Costco, I talked to my pharmacist and let him know that I had I went later that afternoon that I had the horrible stomach upset and diarrhea, and asked what did they suggest. And one of the things they said that people really like is Pepcid Complete. And Pepcid has a lot of the same things that are in Tums, but it's stronger. Tums, you can have up to 10 in a day. Pepcid Complete, one pill will last 12 hours, and you can take 2 in a day. So I have this ready on hand too. I also got some Pepto-Bismol, and Pepto-Bismol will help if you have a lot of diarrhea. It'll stop that in its tracks. So that's also important to have on hand. And this I did have the first week, Beano. I forgot that I had it. It had been in my cupboard for a very long time. I made some cabbage soup, and it gave me a bad stomach ache, but I didn't throw up. But it was so gassy for like 12 hours after having the cabbage soup. It did that to me. Now I have my Beano ready, and I've had cabbage soup since then, this last week. And when I took Beano with it and a couple of Tums, it didn't bother me. And I love my homemade cabbage soup. I always make it in a big pot, and I put it in little containers in the freezer so I can just pull a little bit out at a time. And I can have cabbage again, but I need to have some Beano, and Beano is digestive enzymes, and it helps with beans and other gassy vegetables like cabbage or Brussels sprouts and broccoli for sure. What else do I have? I'm trying to think anything else. Another thing to do to prepare yourself. Make sure you've cleaned the bathroom and you've cleaned your toilet so it's all nice and clean right before you jump up a dose on your Mounjaro or Zepbound. So you're set just in case. And another thing to do is have a little trash, here we go, a little trash can with a plastic liner. Put a plastic liner in it, so that way if both ends have things shooting out of it at the same time, you can throw up in one and take care of the other one, and then this would be easy to just lift up and throw in the big trash can outside of your house. So easy to clean up and make that not as painful and horrible. I will tell you, I only got sick one day, because once I got the Tums and the Pepcid Complete, I've not even had a tummy ache since, because even just the slightest little, I wonder if this is going to work, I take care of it. Also, I don't eat till I'm full anymore. I just eat until I'm satisfied. And so I'm eating smaller portions. I didn't eat the shepherd's pie the very next day But the day after that, there was still some leftovers. And I thought, it looks really good. My husband heated up some and it smelled so good. And I thought, do I dare try it? And I did. I had a little bit of the leftovers, but I didn't have two servings. I just had one little serving. And then I took a Pepsid tablet. I was A-okay. And I had cabbage soup again this week. And I had Beano with it and a couple of Tums, and I was absolutely fine. So that is my advice. Even if you have an iron stomach and you never, ever, ever get nauseous, you might. And you want to be prepared just in case. And hopefully that never happens to you and you never have that as a side effect. That's great. But on the rare chance that it does, you want to be ready and you want to be prepared for that. Okay. Well, everything else about my week 4 went wonderful. I'm down I was down 7 pounds yesterday, but I ate some things that were salty. And today it was like I gained a pound back. And so we'll say 6.5 pounds. We'll split the difference. And 6.5 pounds in 4 weeks for me is really good weight loss. I'm shooting for 1 to 2 pounds a week. I'm trying to be sure that I eat plenty of calories, because in the past, when I've tried to lose weight, if I ate less than 1,000 calories daily, my metabolism shuts down. And then I can be on a very long plateau, which is really hard when you're not eating and you're hungry. And to not have the weight loss is really a bummer. And then I always rebound and throw in the towel, then eat too much, and then gain all my weight back plus some. And I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm trying really hard to have a healthy lifestyle and to eat over 1,000 calories every day. And I'm shooting, probably last week, I was probably between 1,400 and 1,700 calories each day. And I was able to lose some weight, which is great. Another thing that's good, if you don't lose your weight too terribly fast, you're less likely to have extra loose skin. And I need to lose a ton of weight. I need to lose over more than 50 pounds. And so I want to be sure I can do it and still fit in my skin. So anyway, if anyone has any questions, I'm going to look and see. I see some people that are on here listening. Okay, I think I do see some questions. Let's see. Hi, Donna. And okay, Donna is asking if 2.5 milligrams gives me enough appetite suppressant. It did for me. It did give me some appetite suppressant. The first 2 weeks, a bunch. The third week, not as much as the first 2 weeks. I only did it for 3 weeks. I didn't do it the 4th week because I bumped up to the 5 milligrams because I ruined my shot by not taking the gray cap off, and then everything squirted out when the cap came off. So I did kind of bump up a week early. There are some people that are in the support group that have been on 2.5 for months and months and months, and they say that has been good enough for them, and that's awesome. So my advice is not to jump levels until your weight loss stalls, or it's where you're not having that appetite suppressant anymore. Then go ahead and bump up. I'm hoping to stay on 5 for a while. We'll see. My doctor said he's going to watch my weight loss. And if my weight loss stalls, that's when he'll bump me up to the next level. So we'll see. My dad has had type 2 diabetes for over 20 years. And he was even taking insulin for it, and as well as other medications. And his doctor started him on 7.5. And he did fine on 7.5, and he's never upped from that. And he's down 60 pounds. And he doesn't need his insulin anymore. All he has to do is take that and metformin, and he's good. And so I'd say if the 2.5 is working for you and you have the appetite suppressant with it, I would stick with it. But then once that starts to wear off, definitely go to the 5. And the 5 for me, it was hard. It was, because I'd never thrown up before. I mean, thrown up before. I hadn't thrown up on Mounjaro before, but I haven't thrown up in years. And I was like truly, truly extremely miserable. But only one time, because with Tums and the Pepsid, I'm fine now. Oh, and appetite suppressant wise, in my video that I shared with you when I went live last week, I had mentioned that I had a quart of strawberry ice cream in the freezer, and it had lasted me 3 weeks and wasn't done yet. Look, there is still ice cream in this container. I did have a little bit today because before my shot, today I did feel hunger. I didn't really feel like I had any appetite suppressant. And I knew today's Mounjaro Monday, it's time to do my shot again. And so I enjoyed a little bit of strawberry ice cream after dinner, and I wanted to show you guys. So I still have, and I had some today, and I still have this much left, and I'm going to stick it back in the freezer. I have never had a quart of ice cream last this long. And I did tell my husband I didn't want him to eat any of the strawberry, that this ice cream is just for me, and I will make sure that he has whatever flavor ice cream he wants. And I love Jeff. Jeff, I love you dearly. He's on his 3rd half gallon of ice cream, and I'm still on my little quart. So it really is working for me. I also want to thank everybody who has prayed for Jeff. He is just the sweetest guy in the world. We've been married, will be 34 years in March. And he was diagnosed with bladder cancer the day before Thanksgiving. He's had a surgery though, and a couple of surgeries. The first surgery wasn't so good, but the second surgery took care of it. And so hopefully he'll be all good. But we really do appreciate the prayers. He's going to have to do 6 weeks of immunotherapy starting at the end of this month, and hopefully that'll be it. We shall see. Let me see if I have any other questions. Let's see. Robin says, I didn't hear the first part. Did you half your meal? The time that I threw up, no. I ate way too much. It was my favorite meal. I hadn't had shepherd's pie in a long time, and I had 2 servings of it, and stomach ache of a lifetime. But when I did eat some of the leftovers 2 days later, I tried some of the leftovers. I just had a regular 1 serving amount of it, and I did fine, and didn't get nausea again. I haven't had nausea since. Only had it that one day, but I ate too much. And that's kind of how I think the Mounjaro and Zepbound works. I like to say it spanks you. If you are doing what you're supposed to do, and you're eating healthy and small meals, everything appears to be fine, but if you overdo it and you eat some things that are maybe super greasy, or you just eat too much, it'll spank you, and it'll give you a really bad tummy ache, and it'll make you not want to do that again. It's kind of like it puts you in timeout. And I am thankful though that I have some things in my corner if I'm put in timeout to kind of make things a little better. But I definitely am going to try very hard to not overdo it again. Let's see. Oh, and Donna also wrote that she shoots between 1,200 and 1,400 calories per day, which is really good, which is exceptional for weight loss. That's great for a woman. And try to focus a good portion of that on protein first, then fruits and veggies. That is a great way to go. And by eating a lot of protein, you're going to lose less muscle that way. And you'll lose more fat and less muscle. You don't want to lose a bunch of muscle. I know if I lowered my calorie intake a lot in the beginning, I would lose weight really fast, but I'll lose a bunch of muscle with that too. And that makes it harder later because muscle burns a lot of calories just sitting on your body. But if you have less muscle, then that's less calories that you burn. And so it makes it really hard to keep weight off. And and fruits and vegetables are so good for you. They're full of vitamins and minerals. Less likely to get, well, I mean, still cancer happens, but it's supposed to make it less likely for a lot of things that it'll keep you healthier if you're going to eat better. Let's see. Oh, and Donna also said she heard that the 5 milligrams is a sweet spot for a lot of people. And congrats to my dad. I'll let my dad know, Donna. And I'm hoping that 5 milligrams will be the sweet spot for me because I usually try to take the least amount of medicine possible. I actually, uh, I had the opportunity to take Mounjaro from my doctor a year ago, and I put it off, hoping that I could do it on my own. Um, and my insurance wasn't going to cover it a year ago, so it would have been $1,400 a month for me, and I didn't have the money either. But I always try whenever possible to have the least amount of medicine as possible. So I'm hoping the 5 milligrams is going to do the shot for me. And Robin asked if my doctor gave me anti-nausea medicine, and I'm going to say no. But he doesn't know that I threw up and had the diarrhea the one day. I didn't call him. I did talk to my pharmacist at Costco. I really like my pharmacist there. She's really a sweetie pie. And she suggested the Pepsid Complete. And I don't take it. I haven't taken it every day. I think I've only taken it twice this last week, and before I went to bed when I ate. When I had the shepherd's pie again, just in case, because I didn't want to have that nightmare scenario. And so I had one before I went to bed, and I did fine. So I won't even take this every day. I'll just take it if I eat something that I think maybe a little bit too spicy, or maybe has a little bit more fat in it than I'm liking, or whatever, to help out. So this is going to be in my cupboard for before I go to bed, or an emergency bad tummy ache. And the Tums, hey, you can have up to 10 of these. And it's got calcium. Actually, kind of good for you anyway to have the extra calcium. So I'll be having that. And let's see. Oh, Donna, you're doing great. If you've been losing 1 to 1.5 pounds a week, that's awesome, because you don't want to lose muscle, and you don't want your skin to be all so hanging off you that it's uncomfortable, and you'd have to consider like maybe getting a surgery to get it removed. But if you're losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, then I say that nothing's 100%, and everybody's a little bit different, but it's not going to be as bad for you as when you have extreme fast weight loss. So anyway, so you're doing great, Donna. Okay. Well, I think that's I've answered all the questions there so far. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed to my channel, and who's just hanging out and listening to the videos. And again, any questions? These videos, of course, you caught it live, but also people can catch them on replay. And if you put comments, I'll try really hard to answer any questions that you have. And some of those questions I'll be putting next Monday. I'm hoping to be doing these little lives on Mondays. I'm going to call it Mounjaro Mondays. So anyway, everyone have a wonderful night, and hang on to your anchor moments. Bye-bye.